The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought with it being such a unique thing that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. Things like that. And it's just a unique film of him.
He says, I beat you. He says, they say we came in under the dead of heat. He says, that's not true because I beat you. And the American said, well, he says, if you like to think so, he says, but I know the real story. He says, I know I clearly won that one.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked border patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
Bringing you sex, sass, and style. Buckle up and unlock your imagination for a fun adventure with these death-dealing dames. They sail the galaxy in search of spoils. The most dangerous acquisition, and the most fruitful, are the legendary Splinters of Yggdrasil. The Splinters are magical artifacts forged from the Tree of Life that wreak havoc on the universe. The missions are perilous, but the bounty is glorious. Enjoy our hyper-fictional wonderland. How is a pirate ship sailing through space? 'Cause magic. How do they heal so quickly after battle? 'Cause magic. How are they able to communicate through jewelry? 'Cause magic. It's all about the characters. Abbo, rough, robotic, ready. Mo, carefree, callous, courageous. Mistress Graven, daring, diplomatic, dominating. Betsy, academic, accountable, aristocratic. Nefara, ancient, assured, adrenaline junkie. Bruto, proud, prominent, protective. Fisty, independent, incendiary, invigorating. Roxy, superficial, scarred, secretive. Once you get to know this diverse crew of mythical miscreants, you'll be anxious to find out what trouble they'll get into on the next episode. Go to AbbleGrizzly.com and order both halves of the first episode today.
Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
And now for something completely different.
Wow. What do you think of that? That's the one we're counting down. It has like 85 minutes left or something. So we're going to bring the creator out right now, Mr. Doran Corkum. What's up, brother?
Hello, hello.
Ah, there you go. Don't do that, though. Ah!
That's right.
This guy went down in CromCon history. He'll never be forgotten. He's forever part of the outro. Doran, welcome to the show. For those of you who don't know Doran, he's the creator of Quint and Raquel and probably more that I don't know about or can't remember because I talked to too many of you people. All right. Did I leave anything out?
No, that's all good. Yeah, no, there's lots of hidden things out there. You can go to whitefirecomics.com and see some of the little Easter eggs towards some of the other series that haven't been created yet. That the ideas I have written, but there's like covers and stuff like that to display. But yeah, no, there's always something else in my brain going on, unfortunately.
I know how that feels. I can't get mine to shut up, and that's not an exaggeration. So this one's funded. I can already attest to the fact that this man fulfills because I have 2 of his books. Chop, chop. Oh, we got another one while we was talking because it was at 72 a minute ago. So there you go. Let the final countdown begin. That's what I'm talking about.
A drink to you, fine sir or fine person, whoever you are.
Oh, man, it's been a long day. Third show, Doran. Third show.
Wow. You keep yourself dancing, man. Keep yourself busy.
Well, I mean, yesterday, Saturdays I don't have anything because I go run with the Munchkins. But
okay,
man, it ain't even a day off because you're running with the Munchkins, and they're just
yeah, and that in itself is a task and a half for most people, right?
Exactly.
Where do they get all that energy from?
So this is why we're here, you guys. Go check out Forsaken Future. We're gonna run through this campaign for the last, I don't know, 74 minutes. You make it that long, Doran?
It's up to you, Pops, whether you want to do it that long or we can end it early or
no. We go to the end if we can. Anybody who's a friend of Doran or who has backed any of his previous books or anything wants to come out and show him some support at the end, you're more than welcome. Or if you just want to come out and give him shit, you can do that too.
Oh no!
No.
I actually have something I can show that you'll find interesting, possibly, if you can flip to me for a second.
Okay.
Now this is it'll be a fun conversation. This is the foil poster, so that I got in from. Notice how it has a fold in it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Comic Springs, for mailing it in half like this to me.
Yeah, that's.
I gave them a nice little shout out for that, but I'm horrible.
Comics Wellspring did that.
They did that, yeah. So I gave them a little shout out saying, "Hey, I paid for this proof, and you folded it and sent it to me." But look at the lighting is everything for this type of thing. But so I'm doing an adjustment to it to make it a little bit lighter on the one side where it's dark.
Right.
But pretty cool. The foils. It's a crazy poster with all that shine.
Dude, I'm sitting here thinking about having them be our main printer, and then I see shit like that.
Yeah. yeah.
I mean, I don't have to worry about them shipping to me because be close enough to drive up there and just,
nice.
Just drive up there and pick them up myself would be. And that's what I mean. I encourage everybody. If you can get a local printer where you can actually get a look at your product before you take it out the door, you know what I mean? That's a bonus.
And it always puts you in the mind of the person, right? Instead of some email or some kind of, some other type of interaction online. When you see someone in person, they usually react a little bit different. So they'll pay a little more attention knowing that you might stop around again to check on them type thing.
Yep. So, man, I love that trailer. I wish you'd have got that to me a lot sooner. I only got to play it for like a week.
I was started making another one because I wanted to make this shorter one that was based on the art from the actual series, not like a prelude video like that other one is. But then I quickly realized I forgot how long it took me to make the first one. It took me literally almost a month to make the first one. I had some technical problems with the software. I was learning the new software. I had some technical problems with it. At one point I lost my files like 3 times. It kept crashing on me. I was like, oh, come on. And I was near the end of the video, right? Almost near the end of the production. I'd open the file, kaboom, it would close. I was like, no, don't do this to me.
Well, definitely for your next book, excuse me, give me about a 45-second trailer.
Right.
That's like for the shows. That's like the perfect trailer, Now, the one you put on your campaign, do whatever you want to do. But the one that you send out to like me and Nita, it's like the 35 to 50 seconds. That's like perfect. They get longer than that, and it's like, man, now I'm like, you feel like you're cutting somebody else out
this time. Yeah, see, I totally get it. That's why I didn't hand it out initially. I was like, well, it's too long. Everybody's saying 45 seconds. But then when you asked for it, I'm like, I spent time editing. I chopped out a bunch of sections. I'm like, this is as small as I can get it, really.
Yeah, you did pretty good. I mean, it's a good video. You had to, the way it was set up, you had to leave it up there long enough for the text to appear on each.
Yeah, and I even tried doing voiceovers. I was doing voiceovers the before I sent it to you the day before. I still recorded them and saved them, but I was like, man, this is going to take me too long. I got to it's one of those things you got to prioritize, just like with this show, right? You got to prioritize everything. You got to chop it up, and there's a point where you say, I'm going too far on something. I've got to shift, or I'm going to lose out on something else. You know what I mean?
Man, that's what show I do, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm like the dude on the stagecoach with 8 horses.
Oh
in front of me, and every one of them wants to go a different direction. You know what I mean?
Yep. All these bandits chasing you.
That's kind of how I feel since I decided to blow this thing up, you know, and just go for it program wise and whatnot. It's like, man, now it's like, woo, I got shit going on all the time. I'm always either setting up a studio or, you know, I'm doing something all the time now. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's just it. As long as you have the passion, as long as the passion's still there, keep going, right?
Now, the introduction video to the world of. Do you want to just give us that yourself?
Yeah. So, well, the world itself is so. I guess it really I can summarize it a little bit quicker in the sense that it's a post-apocalyptic thing. It's not an exciting event of any original origin. It's the origin of the typical. We have the event where an errant asteroid or meteor collides with continental North America. That's what makes the story different. Is it's only North America that gets taken out in the story,
and it wasn't 94%. Big enough of a meteor to wipe out the whole atmosphere of the Earth. It just
it changed the atmosphere, but it didn't wipe out enough of civilization to affect Europe and everybody else in the world.
Just fucked us up.
it just screwed us up, and that's what the story is really about. Is that this one bunker is left, Lucky 13, from our North American ways, and it's about that bunker's survival, and how that bunker is going to deal with the problems that now on the surface, the surface is now owned 100 years later by the corporations have taken over, and technically the Euro Union as well. So there's this global entity of the Euro Union that kind of manages Earth with their, I air quote, planetary peace stations. The word peace is very important in there.
Yeah.
And they kind of patrol the Earth, and if there's any
peace,
problems,
not your peace. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
In both senses of the word, too.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, right? They only want a one-way street.
Both senses of the word. My piece of the pie and my piece of mind, not yours in either case. Mine.
Yep. As soon as you want my piece of pie, we're not at peace anymore, right? That's my pumpkin pie.
It's all mine. It's mine. All mine.
Yeah. So this Lucky 13 shelter has got to survive. So, and they're going to be found.
I like the Lucky 13 shelter. It's like Fallout 13, right?
Definitely. And I'm still developing some of the stuff for that. And I didn't originally call it Lucky 13. But over time, it grew on me, and I knew I had to search the internet. There's a couple different movies out there with the term, and I researched where did this term come from, right? Because you want to know, because you don't want to find out, hey, there's another comic out there called Lucky 13, or there's some other thing. And it was interesting to look into. It's definitely a term that is used by in a couple different spots in the world, but I love it, and it's great for the last bunker, L13, right? L13.
Well, I mean, it definitely takes me to people who lose money in Vegas,
right?
You know, because I mean, 13 is historically supposed to be an unlucky number.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So Lucky 13, like for me, I got 13 all over the place. I like 13.
And I'm that type of person too. It's kind of the I'm gonna kind of buck the bull in the sense of, you tell me that's unlucky. Well,
yeah,
I don't mind. I used to do that all the time.
Even my race car, my NASCAR game is car number 13. So,
oh, really?
You know.
That's awesome. I remember in high school, even they'd get numbers for when you would go out and you'd have to do something in like a long distance run or something. They give all these numbers, and as a kid, we always had to do them. And this is like when I was 12. People would avoid 13. I would actually take it. I didn't care. Yeah.
Don't ever run from superstition, man. Embrace
take it dead on, right?
Embrace it, baby. Embrace it.
For sure.
So, congratulations on getting funded, by the way, because I can remember it was like, man, Nita kept going, come on, Pops, help me out with this one. It's going slow. It's going slow.
That was a rough start. Definitely.
Like, we got him. We get there. We get there. Take a little, just, how it is. You got to get it seen. That's all,
And I tried different ways to market this one. And then, you know what I mean? I was at Fanaticon, as 8-Bit Shinobi there in the chat knows. I was table next to him. That was a way to do things. And then I tried a different approach of doing these cards with the local comic stores. I thought if this could succeed, it would be excellent, but it didn't seem like that marketing plan. And it makes sense. It's really hard to find. People don't realize how hard it is to find the independent comic guys or girls or people in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's probably, out of 100 people, there's probably one that you'll find most of the time. But when you find them, they seem to appear in packs. It seems sometimes, it feels like, which is really cool. You know what I mean? They hear you talking about your project. You see a couple other people kind of clump around and listen, right? And it's really, really neat when you find them, and that's the exciting part. It's like an Easter egg, kind of, almost.
Well, yeah, that's why I try to tell people, as a reader, as a fan, give us stuff in the background so that we take a minute to look at each panel. Give us stuff to look for beyond just the character in the forefront and the dialogue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I want to take more than 10 minutes looking at a comic book I just paid $25 for.
That's right. And I really, I totally agree. And there was a point where comics were down to 20 pages at one point, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
At one point it was 20, and I was reading them as a fan when I was younger, and I was like, this is over. That's why I always make sure that I'm 24 to
Marvel and
28
DC
plus.
used to piss me off because they'd feel like a substantial book and then it'd have 18 pages of ads in it.
Right. Yep, that was another problem with them. And that's what I've done. What's kind of fun with this one is it's actually got these ironic ads based on the RoboCop movies. So there was commercials and that about, Sunblock 5000 and all that stuff. This actually
I like
has
the humor ads, though. That's good. That's fun.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, did anyone ever think they were going to get X-ray glasses back in the day that was going to show them kind of looking at the girl through the dress?
Yeah.
And it's like,
my favorite was the Hostess ads.
Oh, yes.
Where Spider-Man would swing by and throw a fruit pie at somebody, and while they was eating the fruit pie, he'd web them up and shit, right? I wanted to do that with Crom and one of the local dispensaries here that I'm talking to. And we're, Crom's going to throw a blunt at the bad guys or whatever, or the people trying to break into the dispensary, whatever the crime is, they just throw a blunt at y'all, need to chill out. And slide on by, right? It's Crom. What can I tell you? He ain't always bad. Sometimes he's good. Got to protect the dispensary.
Investing in his future. He could just digitally come out of nowhere. He doesn't even have to swing, right? He can just digitally come out of their device, or
pops right into the panel. Just rip the panel open and stick his head in and go, "Hey, yo, here.
Look what I got."
That's even better. Thank you. Yes. Mm-hmm. Have you seen those tattoos where they're over the rib cage and the skin's peeled open and you can see the bones and there's a little gremlin sticking out pointing a gun at you from inside the rib? Dude, I've seen some badass tattoos.
Oh,
dude.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen some fighters
sticking his
and
head
wrestlers that have the bones and and even their whole arms, like Darby Allin in AEW. His whole arm looks like it's just his bones underneath, like it's a tattoo of his bones. With some other stuff layered on it. I've never heard of somebody inside there actually, though. That's cool. You were like 3,000. The question is, did you find it? And did you feel protected? Man, I remember in the movie, it was like a really thick cream. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like mush.
So you got some badass characters, man. Go ahead and break them down.
Yeah, so this on screen is Commander Rasha. She's the Euro Union, obviously a rank of commander, but she's extremely unstable. And this character is obsessed on a level that you would not believe to actually hunt down the Dark A's, which is the next character underneath. She literally suffers from OCD at a severe level, and I'm hoping to totally meld that into the story in a lot of ways and bring a little bit of that to life and how obsessed she is. I actually know somebody in real life who suffers from OCD, and she actually inspired some of it to a degree. And you could, you know what I mean? Like it's. I'm hoping that stuff will fit in, and that's her strength and her weakness, right? Because she's so relentless. That's why the Euro Union loves her. She doesn't care what gets in her way. She's going to try and get the job done in any means possible.
I'm going to just drop the link right here in the chat. If anybody wants to come hang out, say congratulations to Doran, or just
certainly. Yeah, we're just hanging out and having fun for the last bit of the campaign for sure.
It's supposed to be a countdown party, you guys. Party. Come on.
Yeah, throw some confetti. I wish I had some confetti or something to.
I think a little bit
sparkles
shit at the end, right?
Jazz hand sparkles.
Yeah.
Maybe some fireworks. No, it wouldn't be good inside. Yeah. Light some stuff on fire.
We can give you a concert.
Oh, dang! There you go. Yeah, we get some
just
phone lights. If I have
way
my phone
back
next
and
to
forth,
me,
right?
Yeah, I'm so happy it's funded, especially after I did the third one first, and I took everything back to square zero on this one,
Right.
and really modified the story, modified the characters a lot, and got new artists and stuff. So I really put a lot into this one. So the fact that it's funded is fantastic, and hopefully it leads to future successes in the next one and the one after that. For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Oh, hell, you're up to 75 backers, Junior. We're just going to keep talking.
Nice.
What's up, Max?
What's going on?
Hey.
We're just over here popping.
Congratulations.
We're just over here popping this last hour off, man.
Yeah.
When I first tuned in, there was 72 backers, and we're just popping them off now. So go ahead, man. Tell everybody about. Okay, we covered Rasha, right?
Yep. See, the Dark Ace is really one of the pivotal characters in the series. In this case, John Liger's bracketed underneath there, so he's kind of he's from the Lucky 13 shelter, and he knows their back is against the wall, right? That the corporations of the surface are eventually going to find them, and their bunker will be discovered. And you know what I mean? He just knows he has to take action. The time is up, right? There's no time to mess around anymore. So he actually goes out the story kind of starts with his actions and what he's going to do to try and solve their problem, to fight this literally planet-wide forces, and how he's going to deal with it. So he has his own kind of little strategy, shall we say.
In writing, we call that the inciting incident.
Oh, nice. It has an official term. All right.
Look, hold up. Max, zombie bimbos versus
Ninja bimbos
Yeah,
versus
ninja
zombies from deep space.
I was going to say there's aliens or something somehow involved.
Damn it. But yeah, also a meteoric calamity.
Oh.
Okay,
Yep.
that's how his story takes shape as well. Totally different things happen.
Oh yeah,
totally
different.
different.
I mean, I saw the commercial for this, and I was like, hey, look, meteors fall into the city. That's. I hope he doesn't think I ripped him off. And then I started watching it, and I was like, this is nowhere near.
Maybe that's another part of the world happening. Maybe it is part of this. Maybe it's a little off to the side somewhere as this is happening. I thought of that.
That's what's happening in Australia, right?
I thought about Timothy Fling as well, because he has his kind of water worlds, which is a futuristic, and his timelines actually are very similar. I always thought that would be funny if there's. Yeah. So, Tim has some very similar stuff too that technically could be taking place in the same world, just maybe in a different spot, right? Forsaken Future or Water Worlds or whatever else. But I'm not sure about how well the bimbos will do against the Euro Union, like space stations.
They're ninja.
Have to have a plan.
They're ninja bimbos. They're not
that's
just
a good point.
any old bimbo.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. They probably could just like sneak around and like no one would even know that. Got you. Sneak onto the station and just trash it or something. Have an all-night kick.
Most of those guards are guys anyways. They'd be like, oh my god, I'm so lost. What do I do? Oh, shank you in the skull.
Right, yeah. Got you.
Crossover. John Liger meets the bimbos.
Yeah, that's right. What ensues? No one ever leaves the bunker again.
Well, yeah, I mean, what happens in Lucky 13 stays in Lucky 13.
It kind of looks like Vegas too, the planet, because it's all trash, right? You know what I mean? Like Nevada desert type, around the other side.
Too much fun. Those are the bad guys, though. Check it out, Max. You got Mr. Anderson, dude.
Yeah. So I was wondering if I missed the beginning of the show because I was working on that thing I sent you, Pops. But
I gotta download that. Thanks for reminding me.
And then so did you explain any of what's happening to the mutations? Did you, or is that something you got to read about?
So that's technically where no, not yet in this relaunch of the series. So this series I'd started about a decade ago, and I started more for a teenage market. Teenagers kind of like teenage, not as in depth, not as much of a story to it, more of a kind of an action-packed series, which I loved as a teenager. but then I decided to reboot the whole thing. Back then, I did start explaining it, but I'm not getting into it too much on this one so far. You can see if you look on Kickstarter, if you search for the Forsaken Future 3, you can see a picture of actually Razorwing, which that comic is what I'm trying to get to now in rebooting. That comic is still going to be itself. It's still ready to roll. It's just sitting there. I just have to get this one out, get number 2 out, and then I can go right to number 3 and then push the story forward. Yeah, so you'll start to see some mutations come into it, but that's what I based the whole series on originally. Was I love the idea of cybernetics and technology versus mutation, kind of a world. You know what I mean? This kind of Fallout situation.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that idea.
Yeah,
it's kind of Fallouty, but it's very Mad Maxy too.
yeah, which is a little extra. Yeah, so this is some of the comic art here. So this is your planetary peace station. Yeah. And that is the Earth in the bottom left. The atmosphere is no longer blue after the impact; it's now green. So that's one of the lingering effects from the meteor / asteroid. I can never know what the official. I remember researching it, but I always say meteor / asteroid. I'm pretty sure it's a meteor. Maybe it's an asteroid that destroyed the planet. But anyways, there's a scientific term for what it means.
The asteroid would destroy a planet. A meteor,
I think so too. It'd be
a meteor,
of it, right?
They've had meteors land in people's yards,
right?
Right.
But there's size there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where we're talking about just North America, would it be what's the kind of the size?
You ever seen Meteor Crater, Doran?
Oh yeah.
In Arizona.
Oh well, yeah. Actually, up here,
there's a huge crater in northeastern Arizona where a meteor actually hit.
Oh, okay.
It's like a tourist attraction. I mean, it's like a huge fucking crater.
So I don't know if it's visual or not, but up here, in Canada, there's a nickel mine. Nickel is mined up here in a place called Sudbury, and it's believed that was a huge impact place as well. And that's kind of been
that's where all the nickel came from. Nickel came from space,
or up something in the earth for them to get down to the nickel.
That's how we got our nickel back.
Yeah, well, we had those too. Oh,
I said that. No. I did.
Don't bring. No, it's best to leave that. That's like saying, what is it? Beetlejuice. Don't say it 3 times. Don't say Nickelback 3 times. They'll appear or something. We all don't want that again, do we? Maybe some do.
This is good looking stuff, though. Now, who did all this art? Doran.
So David Dion did the art, and he actually also worked. I didn't realize this actually until afterwards. He actually worked on Water Wars. I had no clue. It's before he worked with Tim, he had sent me messages wanting to work with me, and so I acted on those. And then I realized he did Water War. I'm like, what the heck? What's the odds that I know the person he's currently was working with? And now again, I think he's been working with Tim some more on some stuff. And the coloring is by David Ocampa, who is just phenomenal. He's a little more expensive to use than your average colors, but he's like a pro. Like he is like, he's worked for Zenoscope, Image, I believe Marvel as well. You look at his resume and Heavy Metal Magazine even. So that's
better. You say Marvel, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah, right. Once you throw in the other ones, you kind of get more of a portfolio.
That's better, because I remember when I first wrote Mary Machine Gun and it got done and everything the book got in my hand, I was like, I'm going to go to the comic book store and buy a top tier Marvel comic that's not MCU related. So I bought an X-Men comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I brought it back, cracked it open. The line art looked like ass. There were just big gaps in the line art. Everything looked just like they were trying to do this stylized thing, maybe, but it just wasn't working. It looked like something a high schooler would draw, and the colors all looked like flats. And I was like, this is what they're putting out? I don't have anything to worry about.
Right. And there was an era of that. I as a collector, when I was in early 20s, maybe late teens, you started to see that happen where they fell apart, right? Once Image formed up and they lost their artist, there was a lot of kind of crummy Marvel comics at that era where you went, oh, like I remember I was a big Ghost Rider fan, and I'm going to get this wrong. Was it Andy Kubert they took I think they took Andy Kubert off of Ghost Rider, and I'm pretty sure, I hope I got the name right. And they took him, and basically he became the X-Men because they lost Jim Lee, right? I'm like, hey, there goes my artist from Ghost Rider. They stole him from me, right? And now I get the kind of wish-washy artist, shall we say, afterwards.
I swear that I read it was like Ghost Rider versus Lobo or something. I can't remember
really?
what. Yeah, I remember reading it a long time ago, but I've never been able to find it again. I don't know if it was Lobo or if it was a different character, but I remember Ghost Rider was climbing up this wall outside of this building, and he's going past all these windows, and then he gets to this one window, and then you just see this fist sticking out with a bunch of chains wrapped around it, and it punches Ghost Rider right in the face and knocks him off the building. Makes him land on the car below. And I was like, this is awesome. I've never seen Ghost Rider get his ass kicked like that before.
Oh, there's been one of my favorite moments is not against a normal villain. It's just against, he's fighting some regular guys with rocket launchers, and they rocket launcher him, and he just turns into a pile of goop on the ground. And then in the picture, he just slowly rises up back out of the goop because he's immortal, right?
Exactly.
You can blow him up all you want. You better.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to
It's
that
an eternal
guy.
fight, basically.
So back to Forsaken Future.
Yeah.
Is there any? I guess I would say now, since that was your thing, is there any Ghost Rider elements that have followed into Forsaken Future?
I would actually not, but I have a separate thing that kind of holds a lot of Ghost Rider that that Pops can attune probably a little bit to.
I got some X-Men and Ghost Rider. It's a trade paperback from '93.
Yeah.
I got a What If that's What If Marvel went metal with Ghost Rider.
Oh.
I have Ghost Rider Captain America Fear. That one's pretty good, actually. And Cosmic Ghost Rider, of course, destroys the Marvel.
Cosmic Ghost Rider wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really into that part of it. But in Raquel, if you think of Ghost Rider and you go look at the art again, you will start to see that I've got glowing chains and stuff in there. So that's where you'll see some of that influence, you know what I mean, kind of kick in the Raquel series. You'll see that. I did. But even the character has a flaming skull by the end of one of them in part of this. I won't give too much away from that story. Flaming head, anyways. But some of that is very influential by Ghost Rider for sure in that series. This is more. I don't even know what to compare this to. My friend always calls it X-Men. He always refers to this as more of an X-Men thing. But I think I've redone the story to the point that I can't really see any relation, other than the fact this guy has claws. Like John Liger has claws, but he's so much more than that. His claws are extremely important to him there on the cover, but you'll see grenades on his side, and he has other technology, like those arm bracers are really, they can hack systems. They got lasers in them. They got tasers in them. They got, it's not just a one-trick kind of pony system. You know what I mean?
It's more of to me, it's more of like a heavy metal 2000 AD type of feel,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy on top reminds me of a cross between Cyclops and Cable, and the guy on the bottom is Punisher and Wolverine.
And when I designed their fighting style, I always thought of it in Wolverine as Punisher on a different level. Actually, this cover, or was it I think it was this cover. I might have given a piece of art of Punisher with Wolverine on it to the art. I think it might have been another one actually, but this could have been it. That there. No, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. Yeah, it was a different one. I mustn't have. Oh, that's right. I never got it back from the artist, the one that I handed that off to. That's right. Now that I think about it.
And then I like that she's got the little fob that has the wanted poster on it.
Yeah, I love that add-on. And this is David Ocampa again, right? So he's also an artist as well as a colorist. He's actually worked on quite a few indie projects out there. So yeah, this is him at full glory to himself. I think it's a great sci-fi cover.
I would say that looks like a sci-fi novel.
Yeah. Yep. And the peace station in the back, the way he put the moon in the top left was really, really cool. He could just go with an idea, which is I love. Artists that can go with ideas and just make them better is just such a treat to work with. And sometimes I just say, just here's the character, here's my idea, and then they go, and then I you give them feedback and then they go again, and it's like, wow, And this is Ricardo Silva. This is his art with Iwan as the colorist. So Ricardo Silva.
The Sister Mercy artist?
Exactly. Corey Hardiman's Sister Mercy. Yeah, which I worked on the first 2 issues of helping him get that out. So I borrowed Ricardo. I acquired Ricardo for 1 image from him.
Ricardo's great.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah. No, Ricardo was easy to work with. So easy to work with. And what I like about this is he never meant for that explosion to be coming off the earth. That's an example of an artist and a creator going back and forth. I'm an artist as well, but in the sense, he put a flare there for the sun shining off of it. I said, well, that's great. You put an explosion for you really thought this out. And he goes, oh, because that's actually just a sun flare in the sample. I'm like, you want me to turn it into an explosion? I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's becoming an impact spot. And I told the artist to color the sky so it's still blue on the earth, but you'll see the green elements at the top left as well. So you'll start to see the light green starting to come through the atmosphere.
And you can tell that's South America and that the impact is in North America. Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Ricardo just happens to be from South America as well too. This is Jiraco Guerrera, and he's done some great. He's actually come through on this project multiple times. He did my first Terror Drudge art I handed out in the Lucky 13 shelter art from a couple weeks ago, and he did this for me. It was originally going to be a cover. I was going to put the Forsaken Future logo on the top right, but I wanted a wrap cover. For everything. So this piece seemed to go well with the other 3. So I altered its colors to kind of tone it down a little bit, like make the shades kind of meld together more. And now it's the back cover. So he'll be literally on every cover for the comic. And I'll probably make this an exclusive cover for the website, for the PDFs on the website. I like to make it, if you get the PDFs later, if you're a PDF collector, I always make a unique PDF for you to be able to download on the website with a different cover. So this will probably be it.
I think it's awesome. Personally.
Yeah, it's a great collage, and this was almost exactly as I drew it, I believe, if I remember correctly. So he did a really good job. And then this guy can put technology. This is what I really like about him. Like, he can add some other little technology. Like on the gauntlets, you can see little hoses and stuff hanging on. I never drew that like that. You know what I mean? That was his kind of brain, kind of doing his own thing, and the way he does the armor is very different for the Dark Ace. Yeah, and Calibur's guns, I put the flares on the end of it and stuff, but his gun is really well done, I thought, as well, too. It looks very sci-fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not your typical... Like, a lot of people, you tell them to draw a gun, and you tell them you don't want to have bullets. I don't want bullets in this future. I don't want that to be the way you do things, more Star Trek, Star Wars-ish. And, of course, this is the exclusive foil poster that I was showing earlier. Yeah, I've got the proof in, unfortunately, that they folded. But pretty cool.
Look what they did to this shit, Max.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That should be your proof. In a nice little 1117.
That's the proof they sent him to show what a great job they...
Yep.
This is our selling point.
And I paid for it on top of it. It wasn't like it was free to get a proof. Right. I always collect my proofs. My proofs are all in a separate spot.
This is the thing you're trying to get the creator to buy.
Yeah. And I was trying to show it off before the. Yeah.
I would definitely be in contact with the printer and be like, WTF, mate.
Yeah, did you guys couldn't you find the right size envelope for this? What the frick?
Yeah. I mean,
or just at least roll it up and put it in a tube. That way you can unroll it and iron it if you need to.
It's cardboard, so you can't really roll it.
Oh, okay.
It's a really thick stock. I can't.
But at the same time, if this is your selling point, if this is the thing I'm trying to get you to buy, I need to send you one in pristine condition so you want to buy it.
So I went to school in '98. I'm aging myself. But I became a graphic technician printer. So I worked in the pre-press world before I got my current job and everything like that. So I was actually doing this type of stuff. I would be the person who would be printing this out. I'd be doing the proofing. I'd be getting the person's files, putting them to press. We would never in a million years do this to somebody's proofs. Not back then.
And this is the whole thing. It's like I'm looking at them as our, possibly exclusive printer for the shit we got going forward. And it's like, not if they're going to do that. Yo, you got to take care of the creators, man. All of them, not just some of them, all of them.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it before too, some of that stuff. Like, that's why you always get scared. Like, I always get scared to give the comics, like to get the comics in and ship them directly to someone else and not ever see them, because there's always a fear. Like, I've got,
Oh yeah.
so even when I
won't.
reprinted this one, it's dark. The cover's not the same color it was before. It looks fine on here because there's light shining on it.
Now, just hold that guy up there for a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't look the same. It's got some, now it looks fine here, I know, because there's all this light on it, but you take it out of the light and you can really tell it's dark.
Put
and
that
it's not
back
the
up
same
there.
as the original. So, but anyways.
Put him back up there, Doran.
Oh, put Quint up?
Put him back up there.
So this is actually my You just happen to have videos of that laying around, or you just have it in your room with you?
This guy is up. He's been hanging around since Halloween last year, man.
Yeah, I know. That's when we first talked. I mentioned Quint and his
so he's on the cover of the book. You see that? Yeah. Joe's been on comic book covers. No, don't fall. Glow in the dark Crom. I need you. Did you see that? We got us a glow in the dark Crom.
Yeah, I remember you were showing that off. That's so cool.
Oh, he's got a dog hair on him. Get off there.
I got 2 cats. Good luck avoiding that happening.
Oh,
I can only imagine with dogs as well. Look at that. I love the way the hair stands up on its own. Like, that's crazy.
He got a little brother now. Look.
And they won't do anything bad, right? They're just going to hang out together there. No trouble.
Oh man, that's mischief. You know that. Lots of that. And you got the stickers.
Yeah, so I did this. This was my unique. I've never seen anybody do this before. So these are all die cut stickers. They're vinyl as well. They're more premium. I knew there were sticker collectors out there, and what I did is I created them to the size of a comic book, so they fit into with the comic book on the back, or they can just fit together for shipping. And so I've been trying to cross promote those with sticker people who collect stickers. And as a kid, I always got them in a sheet, and I found when I started getting Kickstarters that they were all smaller stickers, but they were, you know what I mean? They weren't as big, and they were all cut out already. They weren't on any type of sheet. So I wanted to create something a little different, and that's why I created this different kind of I call it a collector sheet on the side. But you can take them off. You can stick them where you want. You can restick them anywhere you like. Make your little battle scenes if you want. So RJ talked about making a background to go with it. He says maybe you should have some kind of background you could stick them to, right? Because now I've got the Raquel sheet from Raquel. And now you've got this sheet from this one. Maybe as this keeps going, I'll probably have people will be able to put stickers everywhere.
Are they add-ons or are they tiers?
Yeah, so this is an add-on, and it's also in tiers. Okay. So you can do either or. Yeah. And down here is some of the artists again. So in this case, at the top, that's Jocko, again, Guerrera for the first 2. And that's, of course, inspired by the Terminator, that skull. But I told him he had to make it different. It can't look like the Terminator skull. That's why it has very human eyes, very cyborg eyes. And it's not meant to be. There's no Terminators really in my world. But that was the original concept, was kind of a Terminator skull. And then, of course, you have the original art for the one at the top there of Liger with Caliber. And then an art from David Dion. Now, I built these special as well. I try to do things different, not the same as everybody else. So these are built to 5 by 0.5 by 8.5 intentionally, so that they fit in an 11/17 frame. So if you scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see I that's my art there of the original concept of the John Liger, the Dark Ace armor. But if you scroll down, you see that little 4 black squares just off screen. That I was trying to visualize the point that 4 of these can go together into an 11/17 frame, and I want to make them interchangeable, right? So, for instance, I cross-promoted with Sister Mercy on this, so we made an exclusive 8.5 by this size, a 5.5 by 8.5. So you could take that Sister Mercy card you'll get for cross-promoting with me, that you'll get, and you could put that in the frame with these other ones, right? So you can mix and match as you go through my future Kickstarters, and actually they'll all, over time, every 4 you get, they should all fit to an 11/17 frame. And I even talked a little bit, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I talked to Timothy again, Fling. Maybe we'll do a crossover one with him as well. So then there'll be a Waterworlds one that might do probably in the same format. I'm hoping. We haven't talked the details of it yet, but I'm hoping that we'll cross promote
Gotta
that
be a
way.
Ninja Bimbo in there.
Yeah, you'll just see. You can put whatever. I mean, even thinking of putting art on both sides of the cards, just because I got the art, right? So that people could flip them either way. They could pick. Like, 'cause we all like to pick. Like, everybody likes different art, right? You know what I mean? So we all like different things. So if you had a bunch of different styles of art,
You got the safe for work on one side, and the not safe for work on the other.
That's yes. For your friends, friends outside of work, for your desk at work, yeah. And this is this here is me. So as an artist, and as I'm getting into sketch cards slowly, so I was willing to do a character design with people, and it's a cheap price for $30. I'll spend the time with you, and I thought it would help the Kickstarter as well. But the idea here is to actually you create the character with me. I'll give you an original sketch card of it, and you'll own the one of the kind first ever piece of art of that character design, and then I'll throw it into the story at some point.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the bookmarks underneath here too. The layout and design, like my graphic design work on these, like I just think these things pop. I think they're going to be awesome bookmarks. And the whole premise on this, again, I try to put some kind of weird flavor on everything. The idea here being there's two bookmarks. So there's this one, the Euro Union one, and then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll have the Dark Ace one. So you can only pick one of the two bookmarks. You can't have them both. But I did kind of at the last minute with the Kickstarter kind of winding down. I kind of did break my own rule, and I did add for $3. You can add on bookmarks. So I think technically, I guess you could just add another bookmark for $3 on, and get your other one if you wanted it. And this here is our throwback in time. So this is back to what I mentioned a decade ago with the Forsaken Future. Most people probably don't even know this, but there was a Sister Mercy back then too. You'll see her top right of this of the graphic, and you'll see Quint there as well. This was the original card set we did at the cons here years ago, me and Corey. And when he came up here to Ottawa, and we tried to make this card set to try and help, because we didn't have we had comics. We had 10 pages of each, like as kind of preview comics. So I had Quint. I had a full Forsaken Future, and he had, I think it was 10 pages done by another person we know, Jasmine Anderson, did the art. And this was our original, here's our ideas, here's our characters, anybody interested type thing. You know what I mean? So we created these card sets with silver ink. I'm slowly releasing more of these, and it's a very good nostalgia back to the start of Whitefire Comics, and I love it for that. And I just keep releasing them slowly over time. So if people want them, they can get them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice set, but it even comes in that little plastic case. It's beautiful.
It's all good stuff.
I try to make premium stuff. I'm trying to make high-end stuff, right? I added in Raquel #1, the Finders Keeper edition. So that's there as well. You can add that on for another $5 as a PDF, I believe, and then $10 as an indie, as a comic onto your thing.
$5 bill.
Yep. And then I think I put it also into its own bundle. So I created a Whitefire Comics bundle that you can get. So if you don't want to if you're not a variants guy, I didn't know. I'm sure everybody here's going to say I'm crazy for saying this, but if you were to talk to me 4 years ago, I didn't have a clue what a variant cover was and why I would want it. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had no idea. And Corey was talking about it all the time. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm an art collector. I don't want I've got my comic. Why do I want a bunch of different covers on? I didn't get it at all. Now,
but you're an art collector, and that you should have got it.
If anybody should have got it, but I didn't understand paying the same price and then getting another cover, and how fantastic that is in the end, right?
Well, I was trying to thinking about it earlier today, and like say even you're paying $15 or $20 for a Kickstarter book, and it might not be 11 by 17, but that's still some pretty sweet art, and it's about what you'd pay for your print at a convention.
Yes. People don't think of it that way, though. It's funny to think. At conventions sometimes it gets a little bit confusing with that stuff. But you're right. There's a lot of people selling prints for easily $20, for even more, right?
Yeah. I think I spent $30 on my Chris Enoch print that got ripped already.
Yeah, I've got one in the back that I paid $25 for as well before. You know what I mean? Like you're getting a comic out of it. So you're getting something more of an experience, shall we say, than just hanging it on your. Then you can hang it on your wall after, right?
Which is where it is right now, right over here.
So we were trying to. So this campaign has been. So my first 2 campaigns constantly went up like this. I never stopped losing momentum. This one did this. So I think this is more what everybody tells me Kickstarter's supposed to be. It goes kind of up and down. Like I'm like, but this has been the weirdest one for me in that sense. So we actually had the first unlock done, and then it dropped.
Yep.
I did this small little drop. It was like 3,006, and then it dropped down to under the 3,000 in Canadian dollars. I'm talking, and then now we don't have but anyways, I'm going to give everybody the wallpaper anyways. I don't know how it works on Kickstarter. This is the first time I've experienced this, but the very top one is the wallpapers. I'll make sure. And I've got a whole bunch of random other stuff that was supposed to be at 3,500. I will probably, honestly, because everybody's rocked and helped me. So many people have helped me. I'm trying to make sure that everybody gets something, a little bit extra. Even when I did my last campaign with Raquel, I even threw in my own, like I did sketch cards for people and threw in random items into their
That's really cool.
rewards. You know, I threw them like an extra. If someone ordered the Whitefire Comics card set, sometimes I sent them 2 of them, just so they could give them to a friend, or just if they just wanted to open one and keep one shut type thing. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff there: magnets, stickers, tons of that. I wanted to give the artists bonus again, and that's the second time I felt bad for not getting artists a bonus. But oh well, right? That's the way she goes. And Gemini's. I mean, me and Pops have talked about this a couple times, and he talks about it sometimes on his show too. Like, you got to protect your stuff when you ship it out.
That's all we ship in.
You know,
Gemini, bubble wrap, tape.
And I'm doing the poly bag thing again too, like I did for Raquel. I'll get custom printed poly bags and put them over top of everything too. Just I always get scared because it's cardboard, and I know everybody ships the way they do, but I would rather. And it's advertisement in the mail. I look at it at that point too. Everywhere it goes, everybody's going to see Whitefire Comics logo and then the Forsaken Future. So hopefully and maybe I'll add the Raquel logo to that too. So I'll have multiple logos on it. So hopefully that'll do a little bit of advertising as it's going through the sales network. Maybe one of the post people will actually treat it a little better, knowing it's
not only that,
legal documents.
It's cheaper to ship these than it is the plain Gemini, at least in America. Okay, because this is
is his bubble?
See, no, it looks
like bubble.
This is just a plastic bag.
Okay, it is a plastic bag. All right.
Okay,
that's like what I have. I don't have them right here, but yeah.
Dude, protects it from the weather, protects it from the rain, protects it. That just like you say, you worry about it because it's cardboard. This protects it from all that.
Yeah, it solves a problem. Now I have heard of things getting really humid in other countries when they go around the world. I think somebody once showed. It might have been on this show or somewhere else I was at. They showed what happened to their comic when it went to another country, and it got so humid in that country, and they were in the plastic bag, and because of that, somehow it held the humidity inside, and everything dried. Anyways, it just created a mushy.
Are you talking about the saltwater bag? Or it looked like it had been in a shipping container for like 6 months.
Yeah, was that on here?
Yeah, well, I don't think much of anything that's sitting on a dock in a shipping container is going to not have some kind of problem, salty effect.
Yeah. It's just that's the problem with doing this thing. But I mean, if anything ever goes wrong with anybody's, of course, just like I know Corey does with Sister Mercy or myself, if anything gets damaged, you just got to let me know. I'll make sure you get another copy for sure.
And this makes it so that happens less. That's the whole point.
Yeah, you're protecting yourself. You really
protecting
are.
yourself too, because if you know what it costs to replace a whole bunch of damaged books, if you don't know what it costs to replace a whole bunch of damaged books, and you send out a bunch of books that end up damaged, now you're forced to either replace those books or look like a creator that doesn't care about their fans. It's best to protect yourself from the get-go too.
Yeah, you got to protect your brand and what you're building, right? And you're not doing that if you're shipping. And I've supported some Kickstarters where I've got some. I literally got one a month ago, and it was just the whole material was opened up, and cardboard was opened, and it was all just to pieces when I got it. I was like, they still gave it. The post office still gave it to me. I couldn't believe they put it in my thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Our mail people, for the most part, the regular lady is cool, real cool. You know, she'll bring stuff up to the door. She knows it's mine. She don't, she don't mess around with the comics. She gets it. The art, she gets it. But when she's not working and somebody else is doing the route, man, I've had the worst of the worst. I mean, shit jammed in my box so that it's like impossible to get it out without fucking it up, right?
Yeah, I've had that too. Yeah. They have these new mailboxes now, which are advantageous for what I'm doing right now, because you can fit 11/17s flat in there, and they're only about this thick, but they're like this wide. So now the change in the postal service, now these boxes are out. So at least there's no more bending something that's wide when it goes into your, so at least I hope.
Yeah, we know, Nita. We know they
Yeah.
into Canada. We know. But you know what? That doesn't stop you from having them ship stuff to you and you shipping to your friends like Doran.
Right.
That would make Gemini's expensive.
Yeah.
If you ship,
and there's always
if you ship
eBay.
a case of Gemini's to Canada, it's going to easily cost you $70.
Oh, I've already got a stack of them out in the back. I prepare for rainy days. I usually buy extra, so at least for the next three campaigns, I'm okay. But
we went to the Gemini site and it was like, you could buy 100 for this, or 200 for this, or 400 for this, and I was like, well, just buy the 400 so they're all 82 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Canada, it gets to $2 pretty well per Gemini once you're done with everything and the shipping and the exchange rate and stuff. I think I'm a little over like $2.20 each. I did the math, which is not cheap, right? You know what I mean? It's not. It starts to add up.
And then, of course, we got RJ. There's always RJ. You can just have him fulfill your shit. You ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's ready to rock. he's all set up there, and let's go.
Dude, I want to make that his day job, man.
Yeah.
I want everybody sending their fulfillment issues to him so that that's his day job. I want him to have no time to do anything else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I've never seen a picture of his setup exactly. I'm assuming he has like a table all set. Like he seems like the type of guy who's like, when we've talked to it before about his spreadsheet and his algorithm and all of his stuff he's got going on. Like he is not messing around.
He makes it sound like he's got it pretty smooth. So
yeah.
I mean, not makes it sound. Obviously, I've received
must
enough
be
books from him to know that it's got to be pretty smooth, because he'll show me one day, look what I got in. A couple days later, it's in my mailbox.
Nice.
So, how come you aren't just like jumping out here and saying, "Hi, Nita"?
Yeah, Nita. Yeah.
Like 25 minutes
Nita.
left in the campaign or something. You could come out and say, "Hi, Nita."
Yeah, Nita. Take that.
She's scared because I'm on.
Oh, all right. That's even better.
Oh, well, there's the link. I don't care if you're on your phone or whatever. You can come out and say, "Hi, Nita."
Poor girl had to suffer. That's the one thing when we were talking originally about how the campaign started slow, and I knew there was a chance that was going to happen. She didn't realize in the second week I was going on the radio. I was going on a couple different. She didn't realize that there was a couple things happening that were going to pump everything up second week. It's just, I'm like, I didn't tell her that, but it's now all of a sudden you see my thing go whoop.
You were talking about your Kickstarters your Kickstarter this time was all doing this. My Kickstarters always go like this. There's a huge just jump at the first 3 days, and then it lays down flat like a table.
Yeah.
And then there's a huge jump in the last 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I've yet to experience, but I've heard of that. Because I think that's probably because you have this big fan base, right? And when you launch, you can get that upward kind of trajectory, where I'm kind of new to this and kind of trying to find my ground. What happened to mine? So that's interesting. You didn't mention this, but I think it's because I'm working with less money. Like it's so there was like 4 or 5 people who did like $160 each, and then they just backed out. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Oh,
so
man.
mine went up, and then it did a big dip down. I lost about $600, and to $2,500, $600 was a lot.
It's
right?
a lot of money. Yeah.
And it's like, and then all of a sudden it just shot right up when I went on the radio and Sister Mercy crossover and all that. It went whoop back up.
I hate when y'all lose a big backer. I lost a.
It's my first time experiencing it. I think I lost 4.
I lost a $300 backer in one day, and I was like, man, what happened? Where'd all the money go? And I was looked at the Kickstarter thing, and I was like, oh, that was all one guy. Damn.
Yeah, this was 3.
Nita says it's beat it as where she's listening.
I told you she was scared. Now she's all like, no, I'm driving home. Oh no, it's all choppy. I can't hear anything. She's got so many excuses.
She's got like a little book she just flips through. Excuse number 5.
The funniest part is you're one of her excuses for other shows.
Oh.
I can't. I gotta go talk to Max.
I'm out of here. You're in the book.
I know. I'm just giving her shit.
Me too. So Nita, Doran's almost done. You're gonna have to throw somebody else my way. You know, I'm in Cutoff, Louisiana. Look at
No, that definitely sounds made up. Yeah. No.
Look, Cutoff, Louisiana. Okay, so
I like cutoffs.
I know.
Cutoff shorts. Bam.
What does your wearing have to do with it? Yeah. This isn't a fashion show. Come on.
Is it a place where everybody cuts each other off? What? I'm just, you know.
See,
how did they get a name? How did they get that name?
So maybe that is they cut each other off as part of their tradition, and they wear the cutoffs. Cutoff show, right? They're dedicated to their name.
Cutoff, Louisiana.
Oh, he's looking it up.
It exists.
Oh.
Does it?
Yeah. It's a census designated place, CDP, on the Bayou, Lafourche, and Lafourche, Paris. I can't speak French. The population was 5,776. Salute. And the 2010 census. So it's pretty little.
It's a quieter town.
Yeah.
It ends in the Gulf, she said. It literally ends in the Gulf.
Their hotels are expensive as shit. $200 a night for the fucking Best Western.
What? For Best Western?
Yeah, so it's a 4.5-star hotel apparently.
Oh, is that what boiled eggs get you the next morning for breakfast?
I love it. There's no dock. There's no pier with anything at the end. It just drives you right into
done.
Yeah.
Just don't stop.
You're all set. Drive safely.
Yeah.
Here's your life preserver for you to wear as you're driving. Right?
I do love the way these guys all look like Mr. Anderson, though.
It's interesting. I get that's cool. It's cool that you get that feel. It was the design of them is very Matrix oriented originally. Like I wanted, even in the story, I'll say your technology and people becoming one with their technology. So the idea there was definitely with these guys that they're part of their chairs. It's a merger together of technology in themselves. All those hoses going into them off the chairs, those literally go right into them.
All right. Can you see their faces? Can you see their faces?
It still is a yeah.
That's
no.
Mr. Anderson, dude.
Agent Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Or Mr. Anderson, because Mr.
Mr. Anderson, dude.
Agent Smith was the guy who said Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson
was actually Neo.
Was Neo.
Yeah. Mr. Anderson. Yeah. Agent Smith. That's a good point. And I didn't decide yet. I'm thinking that these kind of, in this case, these drone hives, maybe they'll be cloned I still haven't figured out the sci-fi part of what I'm going to do with them. Kind of like they did with Star Wars. They have all these clone troopers. I might do them in that type of fashion too. That they're all
Just
very
grown in a
similarly
tube,
genetics.
man. Grown in a Bacta tank.
Yep. Yeah.
Lucky
Water
13,
daily.
yo. Lucky 13.
Why do we have to blow past the girl with the wrench?
poor Jessica Lux. She's very important to the story because she's like totally the geek to the supreme. No, Jessica Caliber, who is Kristen Caliber's sister, not his wife or anything like that. So there's two Calibers, they're a brother and sister that's in this bunker. But yeah, she's definitely my Tony Stark type. When they're in the bunker, they were with their mother, who was a well-known like technology genius. So that's what makes this bunker even more interesting, is the technology that it is within it, that the rest of the world may want, and some of the other secrets they may hold. So
Can't have it.
I designed that tattoo on her arm too. You can't quite make it out there, but it's a heart on her outside of her cybernetic arm with a spike through it. I just thought it was I don't know why I liked it so much, but I just thought it was cool at the time. Was that why Max wants to stop? See, I thought he just felt bad for her.
Well,
I thought he was going to be a gentleman. Maybe she was walking through a puddle, and maybe he's putting a jacket down, and she's going.
Well, I didn't really blow by her, as you can see. She's in this picture too.
She's down. She's in the back there too. Yeah, and this whole image here is meant to show kind of the modern family inside of the bunker, part of the Lucky 13 shelter. And with the kind of robotic butterflies and all that, it's kind of, what are you doing in there all that time? Well, they've got the child there, Lizzie there, and part of their routine is to build these cybernetic butterflies for this. Well, you don't see it here, but there's a conservatory full of them. Basically, it's meant to be a very inspiring side of the story, if I do it right, of course. Lots of obsessions there.
Inspiring and comedy are very hard to write in comic books, because comedy requires timing, and doing it, you don't know how fast someone's going to read. So, I mean, your comedy has to be kind of shocking comedy, and your inspiration has to almost be too heavy-handed.
I think with comedy, I think the artist would be critical. Absolutely critical. I would assume to do some comedic stuff. I actually if
you were doing physical comedy for sure.
Yep.
But I mean, like if you're trying to tell a joke, that doesn't really come off very well.
Yeah.
But
like
in Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space One, the girl comes down and her friend is a zombie eating this girl. And she's like, "What are you doing? You can't fraternize with the dancers." And then he turns back around and starts attacking her, and she's biting her on the neck and ripping this big chunk of skin out of her. And she's screaming, "No, Mitch, you're a vegan."
Oh no. Yeah, see that sounds to me like it would have to be totally staged perfectly to pull off, right?
Yep. It worked, and I was impressed, and then we moved along.
Gave it away before anybody ever read the book.
That's the whole comic right there.
He gave up one of the best jokes in the book. Yeah. Spoilers. Spoilers, Max. Spoilers.
The Forsaken Future 3 has a degree of the way it worked with the artist. I'd written it in a certain fashion. The artist did some stuff, like we did kind of on Razorwing. He kind of has like Spider-Man eyes on his helmet. You know what I mean? The way that, it doesn't make sense. Like his eyes wouldn't get bigger, but you want to show emotion, right? He's behind the helmet. So his eyes kind of get bigger and kind of dilate. I mean, I guess maybe something in the future could do that, some kind of technology. But anyways, so there's some spots in there where there's some humor or some sarcasm, shall we say, that I hope people will get out of it. You don't know till you put it out there. It's one of those things where you have to kind of like go, please, I hope this works.
Yeah.
Because it's got a little bit of Deadpool-ishness to it in that particular issue. But yeah, so I mean, like all of this art is just
the colors are just great.
Yeah, and I'm really worried about it because there's a lot of green, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know when I decided to make the sky green. There was a lot more thought probably than I should have put into it, because it affects everything in the sense of how you're going to color things, and is everything going to look green all the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're developing a world like this, you have to really overthinking, I guess, a little bit. I guess maybe it's the geek in me.
You wouldn't have that blue hue to everything that gets hit, and your light your light value is no longer going to be like 3,200 Kelvin. It's going to be something else. So that'll make everything look differently.
Yeah, and even
almost like it's under a green light.
Exactly. And we've seen that before. Anybody who's worked with lights before, like your halogen lamps, was it? They're originally their light's actually green, and most people don't even notice that your body adapts to color, right? Like that. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of little tricks that your brain does to try to justify something. Until you have a white light on, like I have a white light to the side here, but everything else is green. If I turn the white light off, the color will change in my room a little bit. But your eye adapts.
Yeah.
Wow, we're almost there too. 10 minutes out, and this thing is gonna be finitoed.
Put it to bed.
It's time to go to production. Where I love being next is into the finishing things off. Right, I gotta get the lettering done. I gotta get the final pages out to Dion. But I enjoy that stuff. Right, that's what I've been doing my entire life in the background. I wasn't using an artist before, but I've always been drawing and creating on my own. So now certain rules are someplace, but you know what I mean.
See, Pops, the giant rifle to me, it reminds me of what was it called, the Cobra on RoboCop.
Yeah.
Remember when they pulled out that big?
Yeah. And that gun was really tricky. So I actually did a bunch of concept art. So it looks a little bit everybody drew the guns differently, I found, which was kind of funny. The only person I think it wasn't even Ricardo who got it. He got some of it close. You can see the handle on the Ricardo cover. He got close to it. But yeah, so I love doing that type of technical design too. So I give them these technical drawings. So you can barely make out the back end of the handle that Ricardo did on it. If you scroll up one more image to the one with the planet on it. Look at I know this is something most people probably wouldn't care about, but to me it was important. The handle that's on the back of Caliber, you can see it just sticking out on the thigh of Liger or the Dark Ace. That design was exactly to the sketch I gave him of the gun, which was impressive to me, right? That because other people just drew other guns, sci-fi guns. To me, I designed the gun. I want it to be, and I'm going to make it a very versatile gun. I want it to be able to go from sniper to submachine gun. Like I want it to transform almost. Right. So I want it to go from sniper mode, shrink down to submachine gun mode, and then have maybe I don't know if it needs an AR level, but anyways.
Gotta have shotgun and grenade launcher mode.
Here's the rifle, the Mary rifle, and we make sure our artists are very, very specific when doing that rifle.
I wish I had the sketch because I've been drawing weapons since I was young. It's a weird thing to say, but as you're a teenager and you're a kid and stuff, you like swords. So my friends would draw little pictures of swords, and I'd go draw pictures. So we do different blades, and and then I started doing in Corel Draw when I worked there. We'd have to do projects sometimes, so I started creating all these vector versions of my guns. That's how I create them.
I created something that was called a variance rifle, and it shoots 5.56, 7.62, and 45 rounds.
Oh, nice.
Just depending on where you're at. If you need to shoot
farther. Love it.
I used to have this weapon. It was a very short weapon, and it shot a 410 slug or 20 gauge shotgun shell.
Oh.
You could shoot either one.
Wow.
You could use it. Yeah. Yeah.
I
20 gauge, a little sawed-off shotgun, but you could also pop a slug in there and boom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was illegal.
I'll say Pops has got the ATF listening now.
It's okay. I don't have it anymore. I lost it in a boating accident.
Sure, a boating accident. I believe you.
No, I'm not allowed to have.
Am I supposed to be there when this happened? Are we all supposed to? Me and Max, were we there at the time?
I'm not allowed to have those things anymore. Sure. It's okay though. I don't need them.
You never know.
5 minutes to go.
I don't need them because I'm not the only one who lives here. Okay.
Oh. You're not living in one of those dudes. I had a boss at one point. She and her husband were like totally like the what are they called, doomsday shelter type people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were preppers, doomsday preppers, and not to the extreme, but for our job, we went on it's called a fun day at work. It's the first time I've ever gone on a fun day where we went actually and shot guns. Like up in Canada, that's just not something you would do, right? But it's like,
I saw Corey was shooting guns the other day, and I was like, is he in Canada? Because he had handguns, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I thought you guys were really anti-handgun.
Oh no, I don't think the handguns don't seem, but definitely like you can't have more than a 3-round burst on something, if I remember correctly. Now I'm not up to speed on a lot. As far as I understand, you can't fire more than 3 shots at once. It's 1, 2, 3, and that's okay. Now I have to hit the trigger again. You can't just auto fire spray anything in Canada.
You can't have a 3-round burst. No, we don't even get that. We get semi-automatic. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh,
bang,
so you have to sit there and go bang, 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 bang. As far as I know, now maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I know, maybe the clips can only hold 3 bullets at a. I don't know. It's been a long time since you guys would know 100 times more than me on that.
I don't know what the Canada laws are, and we kind of don't want to know.
Yeah, you have to register all your. Well, I'm sure you have to do that in the States. But even to mail, well, I guess to mail your guns. Do you mail your guns around? I had a weird problem where my grandfather had passed away, and he left me a shotgun. I didn't know what to do.
If you mail a gun outside of the state, you have to go to a person that has a FFL, which is a firearms dealer's license, and they have to do a background check on you, and then you got to get it all squared away and stuff. But if you're just doing it inside the same state, as long as that person's not drunk, you can sell it to them.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule.
As long as they're not drunk, huh?
Yep, that's the law.
You don't want to come off your recovery from your party night and have like 50 guns around you and go, oh, what? That was a good night.
You get me high though.
Oh, we lost Pops. He's choking out on the sides. He's like, I've had that night.
It just cracked.
No, I backed the book.
Awesome. Thanks, Max.
76.
I'll make
Y'all
sure
got
to
2 minutes.
Go back at you.
2 freaking minutes, yo. Get you some.
You know what? I'm happy that this is a step. First off, it got funded compared to 3. That was huge. But then off Raquel, Raquel made a little bit more money. But the reason it made more money is because I had all those custom card sets. As I've said in a couple interviews, I don't want to become a sketch card collecting. I don't care if it makes me money or not. I don't want to become a sketch card collecting factory, right? I want the comic books. I want to find the comic book people, the people who are going to enjoy it. So that's my goal. So this is great in a lot of ways. I've doubled up compared to Raquel, and I've got more digital backers. So I've got more fans, but less money in a sense. But that's what I want long term is to get the digital backers.
You want backers
in
more
people's
than
hands
money.
first, man.
That's why the way I'm looking at it, right? And I'm hoping that's the right way to do this. I'm just juvenile like this.
My stuff just keeps going up. I mean, like my first few campaigns, I had probably 20 to 22% of my audience were digital backers. Now we're sitting around 35% of our audience is digital backers.
35. Okay, cool.
And that's just crazy. And 30% of our audience is female, which I didn't see that coming. But hey,
interesting.
All right with that.
yeah. If they like it, right?
Yeah, buy it up.
Like boobs too.
I know they do.
Well,
I didn't think they like the gore and the violence, but some of them do.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that even if you look at industry, I don't even know if I should say that, but you know what I mean? Like you see the way Disney's doing their movies now with Rey and Star Wars and all this, it seems like men will like looking at the women and women will like looking at women as well, right? If that makes sense. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I look at it like that's like a two for market, right?
Lead female characters work.
Yeah. I mean, if we watched a movie where a guy was running around, you know what I mean? Like
1 minute.
1 minute. It's red. We've turned red.
Oh, geez. Does that mean it's going to explode or something?
Last chance.
Catch on fire.
40 seconds.
On the Forsaken future.
Woo.
I want to thank everybody who backed this whole campaign, not just during my show or whatever. Thank you for getting behind this, for supporting indie comic creators in their endeavors to put books in your hands. This is what this
Drop
is
the
all
weapon.
About,
Drop the weapon.
You need to point.
You have 15 seconds to comply.
Dang. And yes, and thank you to everybody, Pops especially, and Nita's been amazing. Nita's been crazy behind it, which I didn't, I didn't expect that at that level, but everybody's been fantastic. Even Tina.
Confetti explosion.
Oh, it does. Oh, wow. I've never watched one of these like this before. Oh, wow. Woo!
Yeah, you got your little party. There you go.
Oh,
and it's in the books.
Some days it's a lot of stress relief, right? I don't know if Max, if you've done enough of these. Raquel was a stressful. Well, so it wasn't when the Forsaken Future failed. All that work into it, and it was like, oh man. But it's very. I find it very stressful to put these out there and I think this one I was way less stressful about it, but I felt like other people were all jumping in for the first time, and that's what made this one way more special than as much as I love Raquel. But what made this special was it wasn't just friends and family; it was everybody else. Yeah, everybody else.
For me, it was a quality thing with you, Doran. Okay, you sent me Quint, you sent me Raquel. I'm getting books that are in Mylars. They're sealed to the point where you have to sit there for a minute and try to decide if you're even going to open the freaking thing up. Okay, because it's got like a silver seal on it, right? It's not just some tape. It's like it's a package.
I would love to get
cool stuff in it.
Anybody cool with Corey is cool with me. I'm cool with them. I love Corey. He's awesome.
I like Corey too, man. Cool
dude. Yeah, it's hard to believe I've known him since he was 16. Well, I guess I would have been 18 at the time. So, but yeah, we've been friends a long time. We were all sitting playing Marvel, in Dungeons and Dragons and Cyberpunk back in the day in the southern part of Nova Scotia. That's where a lot of this. And my friend Doug
drinking Southern Comfort and smoking Joe.
That's Southern Comfort. You know how everybody's got that liquor that never again. Southern Comfort's my never again.
No, how can Southern Comfort be that?
Because
you like it that much?
There was this big bottle, and I was. I don't know how you put it, dealing with something, and I drank the whole bottle.
I got you.
And I was like sick for 3 days and then hungover like on the 4th day.
Yeah.
I mean, like sick for 3 days, and it's like, man, I can't even look at a bottle of that. Damn. I'll still drink right back there, boy.
I'll still drink tequila, but I had a bad problem with tequila at one point where at parties I was always known for having tequila, and I was having a bad day at work, a real bad day at work, and someone told me to teach someone how to drink tequila, and I was like, and I drank so much, I just went crazy, and I was they were lifting my head up. I was like laying outside the bathroom. Somehow they took me back to my car, which was 20 kilometers away, and gave me my car keys. I couldn't believe it. And I drove home that night. So I barely drink tequila more than okay.
Yeah, see, I can't drink Jack Daniels anymore, and it's not because I drank too much of it or anything, but I took a shot, and you know when you take a drink of something and it goes down the wrong pipe? Well, this whole shot of Jack Daniels just went down the wrong pipe, straight to my lungs. I thought I was going to die. I'm choking. I can't breathe. I'm in the bathroom. It's burning. I'm just going to die. This is it. I'm going to die from aspirating myself on Jack Daniels.
I don't drink whiskey because whiskey makes me 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Oh, all right.
And
how do you know you don't transform like the Hulk when you're on it?
I'm not 10 foot tall, nor am I bulletproof. So best not to be drinking that shit. You know what I mean? Before we go, guys, Chris did a ninja launch last night on Indiegogo.
Oh.
And nobody knows, but you can get Slaughterville 2, the slasher, right now on Indiegogo. So, Nita, everybody, we need to pick this one
Chris
up.
is awesome, too. This dude is creating all the time. It would be interesting to talk to him about all his creations. But yeah, I backed the Kickstarter version of this for sure. It's worth
And
doing.
there were a lot of people that were like, "I'd back it if it wasn't on Kickstarter." Well, it ain't on Kickstarter anymore. Go back it. It's already
now Indiegogo time.
It's already funded on Kickstarter. You know you're going to get it because he fulfills. I got a stack of his shit behind me, games
he
and
seems on the ball.
I don't have any doubt that you're going to get nothing but quality from Laughing Rogue. So.
I need to talk to Chris one day offline, like just me and him. I need to have a conversation with him. So.
Oh yeah.
I need to hit him up.
You want one of my boys? What do you want with one of my boys? No.
Am I going to see Gang Signs start bringing it out here?
No, I've had that come my way before. You can't be talking about my boys without letting me be involved.
I got a contract over here that says.
No, it's a business thing. I want to talk to him about something. So.
He's got all kinds of things going on, man. Look, Ninja Bimbos should be in the fucking card crossover, dude. They should be in Slaughterville. You know that.
Yep.
I'm thinking about talking to him about bringing Big D Wild into Slaughterville.
Oh, what's that?
And launching Big D Wild through the game and the Slaughterville books instead of trying to break into somebody's time to get them to do my book. You know what I mean? It's like we just add him as a little introduction to who he is in the Slaughterville series. That's
first appearance.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. So, and then if people like the characters, then we'll fucking run with it. You know what I mean? Teasers, spoilers, all that shit.
Crossovers, right? That's what I've definitely been learning with the Kickstarter side of this is it's good for me to be internally, like a lot of my traffic comes internal through Kickstarter as well. So you got to talk to the other sci-fi guys at the time, and they're coming after me to talk to me when I'm doing my Kickstarter as well, saying, hey, you want to send out a message here, send out a message there? Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's as you say, network almost all the time.
Cross promoting and crossover, you know, like with Chris doing the cards from people's characters and their comic books in his game.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, that's like a double crossover. You know, it's not just crossing over the characters, but it's crossing over his total different thing from comics over into games.
Yeah, and if they like it in the game, they'll probably look out for it.
Maybe playing
else, right?
Slaughterville and then pop your comic book character up on their next card that they're playing, and they'll be like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah,
never know.
And Max, what do you think? Like, do you do this as well, where you cross over between Kickstarter and Indiegogo? Like, what Chris is doing with it?
I used to do Kickstarter and then Indiegogos, but my Indiegogo stuff just fell off so much that it just kind of. It's just not worth my time to build the Indiegogo page.
You know where your audience is right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like what Corey had the same problem when he tried to do Sister Mercy.
Yeah. When he did Sister Mercy on there, he made like nothing.
Like $400.
I was promoting that book too for Corey, and man, it was like nobody would look at it, and it's like, wait a minute. When I was promoting his Kickstarter, everybody was like, man, if that was on Indiegogo, I'd get it. And then I brought that shit to them on Indiegogo, and they all fucking ignored it. And it was like, man, now that showed me that they didn't care whether or not it was on Indiegogo. They weren't going to back that shit anyway. And they should have just
they gave in and bought it on Kickstarter maybe too.
Or just been honest about the fact that they weren't interested in backing it, not blew smoke up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the worst. You know? There's always going to be, there's always going to be people who are going to say they're going to do something, and then they're interested just to.
Well, I mean, now you got this dude going out and taking time away from what he could be doing to do something that you said you wanted him to do and that he should do, and then nobody supported him when he went and did it. And it was like a lot of people were saying they would back that if it was over there. And when it went over there, they didn't do shit. So, you know.
I wish they would just buy each other. Just become one weird platform of some sort. I don't know.
No, I wish
that's a silly idea. The competition's good too, right?
I'm gonna try and I'm changing the game. Fuck it. If I can get things to work, if I can get this to work the way I want to, I'm gonna change the game. Fuck this shit. I hate crowdfunding. I hate it.
Well, that's why I built my website. I started on my website initially. I just didn't know how to market it, right? So I learned those skills to become a web designer and to build my website. But then it's like, well, now you got to promote it anyway. So why not try Kickstarter? Right? You know what I mean? Because if you can get the fan base in there, that's just the trick. Well, not just the trick. That's
I mean, for
trick.
me, it's no different if I tell people, hey, go back this on Indiegogo or go back this on laughingrogue.com.
Right.
It don't make a fuck to me where I'm telling people to go get your book as long as
you got the
where
audience.
to tell them to go.
Yep.
You know, that's the one thing I'm trying to get across to people. I don't care where you're promoting. I'm going to tell people where your book is. You know, so the more eyes I can get on what you guys are doing, it doesn't matter where you're doing it. Just I gotta do my part, which is show it all off everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and tell everybody, hi, Phantom. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do the same thing with this book. You know, everybody said, hey, bring it to Indiegogo and we'll back it. Well, we're gonna throw it out there again. Here's another one that they said, if you bring it, we will come. Well, he brought it. Here's your chance. Go back Slaughterville 2 on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
You know, and don't worry, because we're going to have it somewhere else after that. We did, Chris secured the domain name for the madnesscomicnetwork.com, which is where our storefront and viewing guide and all that kind of stuff that relates to what we're doing is all going to be in one place. And that means when I say storefront, I don't mean where I'm going to be selling my merch. I mean where you guys are going to be selling your books and your merch.
You want to see something pretty cool I've been working on, Pops?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because I love stuff that you guys all work on.
It's in super secret beta mode, but...
Are you sure you want to do it live then?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe.
No, it's in alpha. It's okay.
Oh, I love that you're using the industry terms. I'm from the industry, so you know alpha, beta. You got the whole.
I'm a software developer. So.
Nice. Okay, QA. Yes. All right.
So what do you want me to do?
Just drop it in the private chat. So just open it up and share your screen.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
What has Max been up to?
Jibber jabber.
Fixing Twitter.
I gotta all sign in and all this shit.
Here, I can sign in. I'll sign in. You can share. I'll share my screen.
I'm not part of Jibber Jabber. So I'm in enough.
He doesn't know it's a secret society thing.
I'm in enough stupid shit, Max.
Password, please. My brain's gonna melt if I get
I regret getting in some of the stupid shit I'm in sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to add a tracking ID to my Kickstarter, and it felt like the worst thing on the planet. I spent 40 minutes running in circles on their website because it's no longer a tracking ID. And anyways, it's called something.
Here it is. What does it look like to you?
It looks like a sleeping dog.
No, what does this website
Twitter?
look like? Yes.
Yeah.
It looks just like Twitter. And you know what the one rule on this website is?
What?
If it doesn't violate U.S. law, it stays up.
Really?
Yep. And it's all about comics. So that's what it's going to be. And then you got polls. You can promote. You can post videos. Got pictures. You know, you can post all the features work. Now I just got to make them play nice together.
Right. Okay.
So it'll be super cool once it gets going.
So you're building your own Twitter, Max?
I am.
Is it off their APIs? Is it off one of their? I'm getting geeky now.
No, it's not off. It's not off their API. It has nothing to do with them.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with Bootstrap. It's all written in PHP and PHTML. And then we're working on applications, and we'll probably use Flutter.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
Did you say Fluffer?
Fluffer. Yeah. I don't need a Fluffer.
Fluffy the cat. Don't you know Fluffy the cat? He's a working guy.
Yeah, but it's
gangster.
It's coming along well. It's taken me probably 6 months to get that done.
Wow. Crazy.
But I'm not going to say that I wrote it all by hand because that's just stupid. GitHub is your friend. You know, I go there.
Yeah,
I find something that does sort of what I want it to do.
Yep.
I edit it to make it do what I want it to do, and then in the comments I give them fucking credit. I'm like, I got this from this dude on GitHub. but I changed it.
And wisdom, I was always told wisdom is standing on the shoulders of others. If you have to be, that's how wisdom isn't about intelligence. It's about understanding that other people have already built something. Someone already created the wheel. Why do you need to recreate the wheel?
As long as you're not in the water. Hey, Doran, as long as you're not in the water.
As long as you're not in the water?
Yeah, because then standing on other people's shoulders is kind of.
You're just going to drown them? Well, I'm okay. Until they collapse, I guess I'm okay. I'm a big guy too. You don't want me standing on your shoulder. That ain't gonna go well. I once had a friend fall out of a tree when I was younger. He was above me in the tree, 4 branches up. He fell perfectly on my shoulders. We both probably would have died that day if I hadn't held onto the tree and caught him. That's life sometimes, right? But yeah, I always believe that you why reinvent the wheel? There's so much out there these days. And Bootstrap's you mentioned Bootstrap. Bootstrap's a great example of something that does a lot for you. They even have a ton of icons that are free now. I couldn't believe they got into that too.
The icon stuff is super free.
That's phenomenal.
I can't remember who did. Someone did a whole slew of icons that was free. I can't remember who did it though. But they a lot of WordPress sites use them.
WordPress is another example that's a great tool at one point. I don't know about now if so much people are into it, but at one point that was the tool.
Well, WordPress you can do a lot of stuff with to the point where you just end up hacking it and adding modules until you don't really have a blog site anymore. You actually have just a CMS. You're using the back end. You're using the database, and you're using the user system. And that's pretty much all you're using.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, guys, I want to thank everybody that came out and did that last minute backing. I think we picked up 4 in that last hour and a half or whatever. So help you out a little bit more, Doran, doing our thing. That might cushion the ones that back out. You never know.
I'm not worried about that. It's funded, man. That's the important part. And again, no matter what, I think we've grown our fan base a bit. So that's again, we'll grow it again next time, and hopefully we'll get to 100 next time, and then we'll go hopefully, and we'll move past that. Yeah.
Just get more.
And I'm trying to learn at the same time how to market this stuff. Like again, I did some tricks. I tried some tricks this one, thinking outside the box, and it didn't pay off. So I probably could have been spending an additional week on this or weeks on this that I shouldn't have. I spent it elsewhere. I think I did a 6-week promotion like at the front, the pre-launch, but it had no value in the end. So it was like, that was a waste of 6 weeks. I won't do that again, right? It's learning how to do this.
You definitely want to promote ahead of time. You want to
do, but not the way I did.
Page up and build that email base so that you can send out updates for your new stuff. Even you still have that email list there to work off of now. It'll grow with each campaign. You want to do that. Not only that, but if you don't go out there a month ahead of time and go, hey, I'm getting ready to launch this, how the fuck do I know? Or other people like me. Okay. I had one that on Indiegogo that got through the whole first 30 days before I knew it existed.
Yep.
And here I am coming in at the last 30 trying to help dude out. You see what I'm saying? I want to know ahead of time.
I promote a pre-launch. You're gonna even if I don't pre-launch, you're gonna see my shit.
Oh, I know. You did it. You understand.
Just flush it. No.
It's not like I'm going to be able to see and share every single thing you do, but if you don't drop it where I can see it, then it's obvious I won't be able to, right? You got to put it where I can see it. Max is really good at that. Doran's really good at that. Nita's amazing at that. She drops stuff that I don't even know about sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I jump on board with that. It's like, it is it's way bigger than any of our small little networks or, clicks or whatever you want to call it. It's like the indie industry is huge. There's a lot of freaking people making books I don't know nothing about.
And that's what surprised me about this whole thing. I'm a small town kid from southern Nova Scotia in the end of things, creating comic books in my own free time. As soon as this Kickstarter thing opened up, and again, when we went to cons, I thought there wasn't going to be many of us. All of a sudden, it was like, boom, there's people making comic books everywhere.
Yep.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. And everybody's hoping to get seen that one break. Yeah. Everybody's hoping to be the next, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever, right?
Right.
Just remember where they started. Small print run, black and white book. Got to be seen. It's
internet at the time, right?
Yeah,
and they pulled it off.
Got to be seen. It's a marketing thing, I'm gonna do my best, man, to keep helping people out. That's now that we've expanded the network, Max, are you ready next week? What's up?
I don't know. Johnny's been at the Renaissance Festival all weekend, so I'm talking to him tomorrow.
All right. Let me know so I can set it up because I like that little intro you showed me.
Oh, you got another show coming? Is that what's the?
Yeah, I'm trying to talk Max and Johnny into doing a atrocity press hour because Max is trying to set himself up where they're pretty much doing a book a month next year with their 3 titles,
which is insane. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, each of them.
I remember we was on another show talking about that. I think not Max, but the other guy. Yes,
and Johnny has a comic shop. So it's like between the two of them, they can easily come up with some content every week, whether it's updating a previous campaign where they're at on that, talking about the new one coming out. Like I already seen Max talking about Human Hunters already. So you see what I mean? It's like he's got a plan. He's got a role going. He might as well be doing a weekly show on the network, because he's always got something new to talk about or in a different phase of the thing he was doing at the time. Last time we talked to him, it's always progressing with Atrocity Press. So
we're always busy. Always got something going on. There's never any time.
And if we ain't got nothing going on that night, we'll play a fucking game.
Gone hunting.
You know what I mean? It's like, don't care. We'll have a good time. I think Max and Johnny would be a great addition to the network. I want content. I want people that are entertaining, fun to hang out with, and got to have that fan interaction skill. You really do.
Right. Yeah.
That's what brings the fans back to your show.
You can have some fun with it. And even when I was doing the weekly videos for this one, I started wearing helmets. I don't know if you saw those or not, Pop. Just so the first start of the video, I had my Boba Fett helmet on one of them. I had the next one. I had a Stormtrooper clone. I was just trying to create something in the video at the start that people would see that would be different. Right? Yeah, there we go.
Stupid headphones get in the way of everything, don't they, Matt?
I know. That was the helmet I wore to Iraq.
I know it was. It was. There ain't no reason to have one if you didn't have one for real. It's like I had this. We went to me and a friend of mine went to the Chase Field in Phoenix when they were building it, right? When they were building that big outdoor stadium that's got the cover over it for the Diamondbacks to play in Arizona. Huge freaking stadium, right? And my friend had 2 hard hats from one of the companies that was doing construction there. And he goes, "Here, man, we're going for a ride." And he jump in his car and we go down to the stadium site, where the construction site, where they're building this monster. And he goes, "Just act like you know what you're doing." And he hands me a hard hat that has their logo on it. He puts one on, he grabs a clipboard, and we just walked around the stadium acting like, just looking like we belong there. Nobody ever said shit to us. We got to check out the whole construction of the roof. They were putting up the pylons that hold the roof enclosure and shit. We got to just walk around like we own the place, man. It was pretty...
I hope you didn't give any advice to anybody on how to build something.
Oh no, didn't talk to nobody. We just walked around talking to each other, and he had a clipboard and he'd act like he's writing shit down, and we just kept walking, But the cool thing is that a lot of people don't realize, but if you look like you belong where you're at, most people won't look at you twice. And it's really serious in so many different situations, man. If you look like you belong there, people glance at you and glance away. If you were like, then they're like, "Oh, what the fuck's that dude doing?" You see what I'm saying? It's like,
at work all the time, you could see it when you So you have your security card. You're supposed to go through a door. People will hold the door for other people who they don't even know who they are sometimes. It's like just because they look like they belong in the building, right? I actually, at one point, I was going to a bathroom. I could have got into another company many times because the door was right by it. So they held the door open for. I'm like, no, I'm going. I'm not even part of your company.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, dude, if you look like you belong where you're at, most people won't look at you twice. Only the most suspicious people will.
And that's the whole premise for the series Andor on Star Wars, I think, right now. The guy is able to get into the Empire. He acts like he's part of the Empire, but he's actually a spy type thing. So I think that's where they're going with Andor.
Okay.
I don't know. It's taken them 5 episodes to have any plot points. So
you felt like me with it. I thought this is the slowest moving boat I've ever been on. Somebody needs to turn his engines into overdrive.
I just keep hearing this stuff, and it's like, man, there's too much stuff I want to watch that I know that I already know. Like I've watched the first couple episodes and stuff I want to go back to and keep watching. And
I watch it all.
It's like then I hear about that, and it's like, man, I don't even want to start that until I finish all the other ones I know I want to freaking watch. Right?
I'll even watch like the dubbed, they're like D movies from China and with all the dubbed Chinese. I'll watch any of that stuff, man. I love a good movie that's a car wreck too. When I know something's bad, if someone tells me it's bad, I'm like, oh, I gotta go watch that. They're like, oh, it's horrible, don't watch it. I'm like, I'm there.
That's the best.
How bad is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Hot D.
That's how they got me to watch Mandalorian when they told me about the different colored fucking Power Ranger scooters. I was like,
oh my lord, that was bad. Boba Fett. He had his own scooter gang.
Yeah, and they were like little mods.
Man, like
they were like little
different colors, like the Power Rangers or some fucking thing. I was like, oh my god.
And they're little mods. They're like these little mods on their Vespas. And I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, everything else in this place is dirty.
Yeah, they're so
gross. Even their outfits are like all shiny and nice, and like it's like, oh my god, these look like total geekdom here. Like it's like, and these people are protecting your town.
What's the matter, Nita?
Just kick somebody and then they'll stop.
To me, I think you look exactly like you belong in Louisiana. I ain't lying. You seem to me like you fit right into the whole, maybe not the nasty part of Mardi Gras, but the party part of Mardi Gras. Yeah, I know what the streets are like. I know what it's like.
No, I don't agree with anything he just said, Nita. Don't take it out on me, please. I don't
more so than Mardi Gras, I want to go to Carnival.
See, that's what I want to do. I want to go down to Brazil, hang out with Fernando, and go to Carnival. We're supposed to do some like Huayucha, whatever the hell that shit is that you trip on and makes you, or you chew on and makes you trip.
Oh,
it's because he's got like. We're not gonna just like do it for fun. They got like a whole big experience that you go do. You sit in the teepee thing. It's all hot, and you take all this shit. You chew on it. And you get your trip on. He goes, and then we'll go to the beach. Yeah, he goes. Then we'll go to the beach, and I'm like, all right, sounds good to me. Let's do it. Just remember, I'm a white guy, so they're gonna fucking treat us differently.
Yeah. Where's the beach would be the next question. I can't find my feet.
Only in LA. Only. Not only the streets of San Francisco too now.
San Francisco.
Okay, I better get out of here before.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for the support, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for showing up.
Good job. Congratulations.
Anytime, Doran. You know what's up. You got something going on. You let me know, man. And for those of you who didn't get on this, now you got 3 different books, right? Raquel and Quint, are they available anywhere where people can get them right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. whitefirecomics.com. Yep, you can download them there. I only have PayPal buttons at this point, but that works perfectly good for me at this point. I haven't gone too crazy with designing the site, but yeah, and with Halloween coming up, why wouldn't you want a copy?
Raquel and Quint are booking good shit, man. Good stuff. I really liked them both.
Cool.
And I'm sure this one being, Doran's showing his range a little bit.
Yeah, these are my two big worlds. Yeah, the world of Whitefire, which Quentin and Gabriel Hand of God and Raquel all belong to, and yeah, this is another world almost of things that could happen. Yeah.
Showing his range. You got the sci-fi action, got the horror action,
see,
got it all going on.
If I get to the butchery, I think that's going to be like my ultimate. Like, oh, I got the covers on the website. Go to the website if anyone's out there still there listening. Look at the butchery cover by I believe that Derek Stevens. That is going to be. I'm doing that steampunk. That's going to be a freaky story.
Go check out whitefire.com. No, go check it out. Just go check it out. That's all.
Do it.
Y'all have a great night.
All right, later.
I think tomorrow, Monday Madness, 3:00 new time, 3:00 Eastern. And what the heck else do I got tomorrow? Nothing. I got nothing else on the 3rd. Wow. Okay, cool. I only got to get up early and I got to get up early with the kids. I got to get up at 5:30. So
that's a task and a half.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I got the kids in the morning, so my day will start early. So I'll be out here sharing, promoting, doing my thing. I did get a 7-day ban from Twitter because fuck Twitter.
I tried to get a ban last night from Facebook. I just went nuts sharing everywhere.
I got a ban from Twitter. I got a ban.
They don't think they banned
Facebook for 24 hours for posting a meme, and it was supposedly harassment.
Oh.
And it's that meme of the girl who's the porn star, and it says, "Oh fuck, you're gonna make me," and then it's like, whatever, you're gonna make me buy the car, whatever. Right. And mine was, "You're gonna make me back Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space 2." Oh. And someone, I guess, must have reported it or something, or the bot picked it up or something, but. Probably because it said bimbo in it, but I don't know.
Been talking about bimbos for the last 2 months. The ninja kind.
I know.
What can I tell you? Y'all have a good night. Again, thank you everybody for sharing, for backing, for retweeting, for all the stuff that you guys do that make this work. We will be back tomorrow. And let's see what I didn't play. I didn't play this one. This one is almost over too, guys. So go check it out.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, blowing very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, the most startling Western hero of them all. Six-gun gorilla. Long days of vengeance.
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands. Have a good
night.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every